Hey, I am Sarah, here to do some yoga. And this yoga practice will be blended with insights from the Book of Mormon in conjunction with the Come Follow Me week by week progress. So the scriptures that this is covering or connecting with this week is Alma's chapter 32 through 35. And even more specifically, it's 2 verses. The one is in Alma 32, I believe, verse 41. And the other one we'll be talking about is Alma 34, I think it's like 42 or 38. I think it's 38. Anyway, we're going to start with the latter, and it's Amulek. And he shares this little phrase where he says, giving thanksgiving daily, and how that's been a tool in his life. And I have found a daily gratitude practice to be extremely grounding and centering and calming in my life. And there's 2 ways that I've done it. First is just jotting down every morning something I'm grateful for in the last 24 hours. And the second is using the tools of yoga to connect gratitude within and just slowing it down a little bit more. And one way that I love to do that I have found really helpful is a gratitude sun salutation practice. This can be short, just a couple of minutes, but so much of a recharge, and can be done anytime, anywhere. So I'll begin. This is just one version of a sun salutation. If you're more familiar with a different one, feel free to use whatever speaks to you. I'll just show you through the one that I use most often. So we come to the top of the mat, and with that gratitude practice, I like to think of the specific person or a very specific experience. And I spend my time on that exact person or that exact experience through the full sun salutation. So I have it in my mind, and then I'll inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank. And as I'm breathing, I'm just thinking about that person or that specific experience. Reaching back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths right here. And then gaze at the fingertips, bend the knees, step or hop towards those hands, lengthen in the fold, inhale, half lift, exhale, forward fold, and then come all the way up. That's one full sun salutation. So then I would practice another round with a different focus of a person or an experience that I'm grateful for at the time. So I'm just feeling it in my body, inhaling it up, exhaling with it, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling as I shift forward and lift up, exhaling, 3 breaths. Gazing at those fingertips, bending the knees, stepping or hopping forward. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Something that can be fun as a family is in the evening or morning or whenever it works for you, is to take this gratitude practice as a family. And it could be doing a full round of sun salutations together. It could even just be doing something like putting everybody in downward facing dog and just taking a couple breaths and saying something that you're grateful for. It can be kind of silly and kind of a funny way to turn personalities upside down if we have all different kinds of moods and feelings. But just taking a downward facing dog and going around saying what you're thankful for. what it is that brings gratitude. And another way that we can always practice gratitude is just in a seated position. Maybe in a circle, maybe just sitting wherever we feel comfortable, and we're just talking it through. Sometimes those yoga poses can break up the energy, and they can just bring a little bit of a grounding sensation with the breath for all of us, which is where I love really getting into that feeling of gratitude and breathing through it as I focus on those specific things. The second thing I wanted to chat about today was in the Alma 32. And Alma 32 is all about planting a seed and that seed growing into a tree. Beautiful visualization for the principle of faith that Alma was teaching. But at the very end, one of my most favorite parts of that whole chapter is where he talks about the action of planting a seed and then visualizing the fruit. He says, look forward to the fruit with patience and diligence. And that is the power of creation that we all have, where we're starting in one small space, but we create, all things are created twice. We create in our minds that fruit. And with patience and diligence and work and time, that fruit becomes a reality, just like it does on an actual tree. So his principle of creation, all things are created twice. First we create them in our minds, and then they're created in reality, is a powerful visualization practice. And we can do that with anything, whether it's parenting or schoolwork or personal, things that we want to acquire or develop in our lives. If we just take a moment and develop it in our minds first, then we can bring that practice into our daily actions with practice and diligence. And one of those things that's been helpful for me is to slow it down. Obviously the big picture is fantastic, but even taking a smaller chunk, something more digestible. And one beautiful way to do that is the beginning of the morning. Taking a few breaths, closing the eyes, inhaling and exhaling, and just setting an intention or a focus for the day ahead. And maybe that involves drawing a picture in our minds of what it is that we want to create in the day. Maybe it's taking a visualization of the day before and visualizing it in a positive light, right? Reframing a story that might be negative traditionally in our minds and reframing it in a positive way. And it may be as simple as just setting a word or a focus for that day. So closing the eyes, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, softening the muscles in the face, and really letting the body lengthen from the crown of the head all the way down to the tip of the spine, and just giving ourselves space to breathe. Now the mind is naturally going to go where it goes most naturally. So it could be a habitual ruminating thought. It could be right into the story of beating ourselves up. It could be confusion, like, I don't know what to be thinking about right now, right? So that could be really, really common places for our brains to go. And if we just take a minute to just slow it all down, and we come into the mind, and we just notice that those thoughts exist, and then we're going to intentionally choose some thoughts that we want to create, because they're always creating something. Let's take a minute to just choose some of them. And just take a moment to think of a word that comes to mind for you today. Sometimes when we first think of that word, our brain will counter it with all the reasons we might not be that word. Just remember that's noise in the mind. Keep focusing on that word. And then visualize yourself in some small way being that word, being the fruit of that seed. That word is the seed. Visualize yourself in some way being the fruit, taking action with that word in some way. Sometimes it can be helpful to look back over the last day and visualize a time where you utilized that word in some way. Now, initially the brain will probably look for a way that you didn't use that word, because we're good at that. But slow that noise down and come back to an intentional moment where that word was in action. And just notice that those little seeds you're planting are creating fruit with these words. And just like an actual seed, those words take root with nourishment, patience, time. It's not about mastering it or producing all the fruit spontaneously, but it's about the process and the journey that unfolds with it. So enjoy taking these into your week with the scriptures. I am so grateful to see how these tools blend and make a difference in everyday life.